Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the podcast. We're back, man on the planet. Okay, and, shout out to Gino.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
I'm glad to be here with you, Leo. This is your thing, man. I mean, I see you starting to get more comfortable with it as we do more of these.
Yes, the audio gets me more comfortable.
Yeah, no cameras, no lights in your face, no cameras. You know, you just have a headset and a microphone, and for a lot of people, that's enough, right?
Yeah, I don't like the camera too much, but I'm gonna have to get used to it eventually, I guess. But as long as you could hear my words, and what matters,
that's right.
Is the words, the message I'm trying to get through, and I think that's the most important part, right?
That's where it all began. You wanted to get the message across, and I'm just here to help. We're getting ready for the start of a new year.
Yeah.
I mean, last couple of days or so in 2021 on into 2022, and looking forward to starting a new year and keeping the Gracie Baja tradition alive. And I wanted to kind of start off by talking about that. With the new year, you have a lot of people trying new things, and they want to switch up their lives and make them better and get into shape and that sort of thing. And
sure,
with you leading having your own academy here in Corpus, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it year after year where you get an influx of all these new students coming in. And what kind of advice? I mean, we've all been there before, white belt, first time walking on the mats, and it's very intimidating for a lot of people. And
it can be, yeah.
So what kind of advice do you think we should tell those new students that are going to be walking in the door? Because, I can tell you personally, man, it's nerve-wracking, man, when you opening the glass door, to walk in the academy. It's a major step, man.
Well, it shouldn't be that way now, because jiu-jitsu's been around for a while, and it's been evolving, and it's a lifestyle, as we know. But I think back in the day that was more common.
Oh yeah, back in the day especially. Yeah. But nowadays it's more of a family thing. You got moms, dads, kids, everybody going in there. But I can still tell you, it makes you nervous a little bit.
Maybe you walk into a class where the Sharks like to train, attend a lot, and they're training really hard, like competitors, because there's competitors out there, and they're tough. We have plenty here in Corpus. There's so much talent here. I'm always going to say that. And shout out to all you jiu-jitsu guys out there, and wrestlers and grapplers and martial artists, who have a lot of respect for each other. Okay. The other ones that don't, y'all could go to hell. And I'll say it to your face, respectfully.
But like you're saying, the times have changed kind of with that, right? More people from all walks of life, men, women, kids, all ages. You got dinosaurs like me, walking in there, and getting a late start in jiu-jitsu. Then you have these teenage, phenoms that are even in Corpus. We got some really talented kids, who are going in there. So there's always a first day, though. There's always day one. When you go in there and you take that introduction class or whatever, and it's orientation, whatever you want to call it, but the nerves, just to put the gi on, and learning to tie your belt, that kind of stuff, people are going to be experiencing that for the first time.
Yes. Well, my advice is that connect with the right people, try different schools, see what environment is good for you. Sometimes that's what, people need to do, I guess. I've been to many places, when I first moved from California, I was starving for jiu-jitsu, There was none here. There was only one black belt. And you could go to different places and try people under other black belts, but I did, and I won't mention names, but I've been to some places throughout this country where I wasn't comfortable at. There was a lot of smack talking about the teacher there, and then the teacher comes and does a seminar later on, and that person is acting like his best friend. And I'm like, you know what? This guy is not a good role model. He's not a good leader. He's just probably one of them fake alpha males like I talk about.
I saw you post something like that this morning about this, the fake alphas out there who act like they're so manly, so tough, so alpha, but yet they're crying over their girlfriend.
Well, those are the ones that usually talk a lot of smack behind people's back and accuse others of doing that, when they're the ones doing it,
Yeah.
And I don't, I'm willing to have a conversation.
Yeah.
When I say I'll tell you to your face, I don't mean I want to punch you. I mean, you try to punch me maybe, but I will have a grown-up conversation to you, and I'll look into your eyes, and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. Sometimes I refrain from doing that because I feel bad for people, but, I'm the kind of guy that goes from 0 to 100. I don't have no in-between. And when I say that, I don't mean, I go blank, and I go, no, I'm not one of those guys.
I see red.
I see red, Those guys that get drunk, and they want to tell you that they're just dangerous, whatever, right? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I'm respectfully, bluntly going to tell you right away from when you're not going to expect it. Because I'll listen to somebody for days, weeks, and their stories. And, as people do this, I think they need some kind of therapy, you know? And I think that therapy is jujitsu, but that's why you got to train it.
Yeah.
You can't go there and sit down on the mat and talk too much.
Yeah.
I'm 48 years old. My toughest opponent is not no man at all. It has nothing to do with a man. So, my toughest opponent is something else.
Yeah.
So that helps me look at people just as people. So when I meet you, I don't care what you do, what you have done, how many guns you own, how many people you beat up. It doesn't matter to me. I'll listen to you, but it doesn't matter to me.
You're not impressing me, basically.
No. What impresses me is a very, very respectful person that comes in for the right reason to train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
No?
And not everybody has the same purpose. Jiu-jitsu fills people's lives differently. You have your competitors who are about competition, who are about winning, going out there and winning 10,000 gold medals. And, they're out there to compete. Then you have people who just want to have fun and learn the art and stay in shape, and they love that lifestyle, Some people want to go in there and just lose weight. That's the way they're going to lose weight. They don't want to run or get on an elliptical or whatever, the traditional way of losing weight. They just want to go have fun and watch the calories burn,
Yeah.
So everybody's got a different purpose.
Exactly.
With jiu-jitsu, right?
Exactly. And, there was a time where, people would always, make comments about GB and the way we do things in the association to make it a better, environment for different people, And now they're following the same model,
That's right.
I wonder why.
Because it works.
Because it works, but not just because it works, because it works. It's the majority of the people are not going to be sharks or UFC fighters.
Right.
Those are very few people, and you got to provide jiu-jitsu for, the rest of the
rest of the people that are going to be attending, all the students, right?
Exactly.
So you can't cater to that 5% of students that you have in your class, or even less than that are actually hardcore competitors or MMA fighters.
Exactly.
The majority of your classes or your student body is everyday Joes, who just want to come in and feel good about themselves and learn something, learn self-defense, and stay in shape. So,
and sometimes that's how you find out, what level you want to take your or how, what do you call it?
How intense you want to be, right?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know you're going to be a shark, you just go in there for this, and then you start getting obsessed with it, and you start being a competitor, and then you're a shark, and it doesn't mean you need to be one. You could still be very tough and not be competing. Believe me, I know several black belts that people don't hear of too much that are really tough.
Yeah.
They just don't compete.
Don't care to compete.
Yeah, they don't compete, and sometimes people need to understand some of these guys are, busy, or they have, a big family, they're running the business.
Yeah, they have a life.
Etc. Yeah, they have a life,
And you have people that are able to devote a lot of time to the art, because that's what their life is. Maybe they don't have a family and 4 kids and bills to pay and all that. A lot of these younger folks who are just getting started in life have a lot more free time.
A lot more,
But once life starts to happen,
oh yeah,
you get married, then you have a few kids, and the job and everything, it gets harder. It gets harder to devote that time. So you have to kind of give props to those men and women who are still able to cut in a little piece of their schedule.
Exactly.
To go train.
Exactly. And you know what? For all you young bucks out there, trust me, if you think life is hard right now in your early 20s.
Shit, that's paradise, man. If I could go back to 25 right now, oh, man. Different times, different life. Man, it's changed a lot in 20 years.
I remember when I used to think that way. No, it's not hard. It gets more realistic and as you age. And but it could be also good. It could be a good thing. You can't look at it, only negative.
Yeah.
You could look at it positive too as well.
Earlier you were talking about, your toughest challenge is not any man or woman or any human being. It is something else other than that. And
Yes.
You wanted to kind of dive into that. The subject of epilepsy, and it's something that has affected you your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And it blows my mind how you're able to do the things you do and have to deal with that.
Yes.
Lack of sleep, just the different, medications and all this struggles that come along with it. Yeah, new teeth, where you have a big seizure, and it's that, and the fear, really, right? I mean, there's always in the back of your mind, like, man, I hope I don't,
It could be fearful, yeah. I'm not, and it's unfortunate that it is a scary thing for lots of people. But, this is something I want to talk about. It has nothing to do with sympathy for me or nothing. Trust me. When I went to see a specialist for what I have, and I saw the people who have uncontrolled seizures, oh my God, dude, it's like, man, it's terrible. I feel so bad for people who don't have them in control, and I think there needs to be more research on this condition. And
there's not enough. There's not enough attention, I think.
No, it's
given to that.
Yes, it's due to the stigma. Epilepsy has a stigma. It's tricky. It's any neurological disease is tricky. And it's a tough one because the way I got into focusing on muscle memory is due to epilepsy. And this is why I really took my time finding the right people to work with in my academy, like for the classes, the kids' classes, etc. Somebody I could trust, because as I get older, I'm having more memory problems and even speech problems. It takes its toll, and over the years. And I have 4 sets of new teeth already, like $20,000 worth of dental work in my mouth.
Yeah.
So just from missing my medicine once. So it's something I have to have, like food. My medicine is like, my medication is like food.
You have
I need
to have it,
or
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just with that in the back of your mind, this is just extra, So this is why there's no excuses. If you're a perfectly healthy man out there or woman, there should be no excuses. You are running an academy, and of course you have a great support staff, Arnold and everybody else who helps, run the academy, but you're still leading the way and dealing with this serious lifelong illness.
Yes, I have to deal with it because I have no choice.
Yes,
so this is what we have to look at. If you have some kind of condition like this, you have to deal with it. There's no other way to think about it. You have to deal with it.
But it's like you said, you're not looking for sympathy. You just
no.
want to bring awareness to it.
Yeah, so people could understand how it is. They don't. Everybody has a friend in school that had seizures.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of them what do you call it?
I lost a classmate to that.
That's what I was trying to get at.
I lost a classmate when I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. He had a big seizure in his sleep, and he didn't. Unfortunately, he didn't make it.
Yes,
and it was sad. And I was just hanging out with him like day before. It's
kind of creepy, man. I'm not gonna lie, that's creepy. But you can't be scared of. You have to punch Sue Depp in the face. Sue Depp is what you just mentioned right now, and there's misconceptions about it. Sometimes people think it's only 1 in 1,000, but if they are not controlled, it's 1 in 150 people with epilepsy who will lose their life. More people actually die from epilepsy than breast cancer. But if you measure the
amount of funds
for research, it will freak you out. I didn't know that, and I was like, why? Like, why? Just why?
It's because. I can tell you why.
And I found out why.
It's because it's the attention that's given to it. Like, there's so much attention given to, breast cancer and they just, everywhere you look, TV and radio and billboards, and there's a lot of force behind that.
Yeah. And that's great for that condition, right? Yeah. But the thing is, there's a lot more survivors, compared. And I hope they still get those funds, of course.
We're not hating on that.
Yeah, no, of course. I know. I just wanted to bring that up in case a listener says, well, what, you think that doesn't matter?
No, it all matters, yeah.
It all matters. The thing is, people don't do their research into history on the stigma of epilepsy. We were once thought to be possessed in some other countries, and we were like hung or burned alive or whatever, right? They thought we were like demons or whatever. Yeah. And then here in the U.S., they didn't allow marriage if you were epileptic in, I think, 17 different states till 1957 or 70 or something like that. So they would sterilize us and stuff. Like, people don't know this. People don't know that, you could break your arm by not falling from a seizure. You could break a bone by just laying in a big soft bed and having one. So this is one of the thoughts that my doctor in Austin thinks how I fractured my back. Because I never really fractured it in an accident.
Yeah.
But I never really remember how did
this come about?
Yeah. Yes. So I have a really bad back problem, and then he started telling me, because he had a model of a spine in his office, and I was like, "Do you do spine surgery too?" Because I was thinking maybe you could fix mine.
Yeah.
He goes, "No, that's for my patients because they break their back sometimes." And I was like, "Oh, really? From a fall?" He goes, "No. Just laying in the bed. Put a stick inside a towel and a twig, and just roll it and twist it, and just you'll hear the twig crack. That's pretty much what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And the younger you are and the stronger you are, he said, that's more likely to happen because your muscles are stronger. So I think he was telling me he had a patient that was a bodybuilder, and he had one in his bed next to his wife. And his shoulders popped out of the sockets. See, people don't know these things about seizures, and they don't know there's about 40 different types. But hey, I punch epilepsy in the face every day. I'm not going to let it control my life. So I'm here.
But it blows my mind, like the power of the convulsions, just how intense they are, that they can break backs or pop shoulders out of socket. I mean, that is serious shit.
That's weird. Yeah, it still freaks me out, to be honest with you. And, man, if I had a choice, I don't know what it is, but the funds for research are just way, way low. Like, it's not even funny, for real. It's like, I think many epileptic situations, or even some neurological diseases, other ones, they're so tricky that, I think people kind of look at us like a car, for example,
Yeah.
If you buy a car, it has a bump in the fender,
Yeah.
the frame is good, you had it checked, you might still buy it, because that fender, you just take it off. It's simple to figure out. You take it off, you take it to the body shop, and you put it back on, right? But you get a car. This car was in Houston in the floods, and it's it's just the computer's messed up, all the wiring. You just, you don't even want to look at it, right? Yeah. It's too when it becomes electrical.
Exactly.
Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see the analogy.
You kind of no, right?
And so it's the same thing as your nervous system.
Yes. So that's what I think. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out, but I don't know.
Yeah, the computers.
Yeah,
off.
they're just too much for. I mean, it's too tricky. You know,
too complex.
It's a complex. Yeah. So
well, we hope that maybe more awareness is given to that, and of course, one day it can be up there at the same level as the American Cancer Society and what they draw. Like that kind of awareness to epilepsy. I think the saddest part is when you have kids. They go through that kind of thing, where they can't control their seizures, and they're just every day they're having these seizures on daily.
Yes. Now, that is another thing I wanted to bring up. People need to really think about that too as well. If you're a parent of somebody who gets like seizures or out of control seizures, it's scary. I'm not a parent, of a kid with seizures, but I have family and friends who have kids.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing, So shout out to all them parents and prayers, and hopefully things get better for everyone. But I have always felt that there's a really close answer to control these things, because it's electrical discharge in the brain. So I don't know. Maybe I should call Elon Musk and ask him like, "Hey, what's up? Make something."
Have something
I
happen.
think he brought something up like that about epilepsy.
But it's just sad to see that, and that's a different type of dedication as a parent. A special kind of love to be able to give that attention to those type of kids, and patience to deal with that kind of stuff. So anytime you see a parent of any type of disability, really, when it comes to a child, it blows my mind, because I'm just like, man, that's tough, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. But like I said, it's a reality, and you need to just face it. And things could get better. Sometimes people, have them in the younger years, and more often, and they get better later. So hopefully that's the case for many people out there like that. And we'll go from there.
December is a month where a lot of black belts are, it's one of those end of year ceremonies, right? Where, a lot of gyms, a lot of academies have them, where a lot of men and women are promoted to black belt or earn their black belt. What kind of advice would you give those people who are just now earning their black belt after so many years of training? Because it's happening. I see it all the time here in December, right? For whatever reason, December brings that. Yeah. They have a seminar, and then they have their belt promotion ceremony there, and you'll get people who earn their black belt.
That's easy. Be humble. Be humble. Have a good character. Don't let it change you. I mean, you're still a human being. It doesn't matter how good you are in jiu-jitsu. That belt is supposed to be also a sign of your dedication as well, and that it should help motivate other people too under you. So I think that's it. Unfortunately, a lot of black belts like to talk a lot of smack, and I like to talk a lot of smack about those black belts that talk a lot of smack. But you know what? My brain tries to kill me sometimes. I'm not scared of nobody. On a regular basis, my brain tries to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm being positive. I'm not being negative.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening, but this is how you have to be, because this is the way it is. That's me.
With that belt promotion, I mean, again, like you said, some of them think they automatically are Superman or Superwoman. Once they get it, they it's like night and day, and it's not that. It's a sign that you've put in the time, and you're dedicated, and your loyalty, and it's a way of life, and I think that you have to represent that, right? After you earn it, you have to represent that on forward.
Yes, exactly. It should make you a good person. It's either going to make you,
otherwise you're not a real black belt, right? If you're
in my opinion, some people say opposite, but I don't care. That's a problem too. Everybody likes to follow the words of somebody else just because he's a world champion. I think highly of some black belts that are not world champions than other black belts who are. Your character and your attitude means a lot. You're just a man. It's a martial art you're good at. okay, what do you want me to do? Throw you a party? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to keep composure and the respect between us as human beings, you know? And I have a lot of respect on the people who help me, because this is one of the reasons why I stopped teaching the kids class, because it was too hurtful for me and to not remember names of the kids. And the first time, it didn't matter at first, but when I started seeing the kids getting disappointed because I couldn't remember their names, I started to feel very bad. So I started to pull away from teaching the kids class, and this is why Arnold is there. But I need to go back, because that means epilepsy was defeating me a little bit. So I need to go back there with Arnold, show my face more. And my memory loss that I get is really something that sucks, because I can know somebody for 10 years and I can't take your name out
for
a whole 45 seconds. Yeah, for a whhole 45 seconds or a minute. And that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's like I could even run into you, but trust me, imagine if you knew who I was, and you can't say, hey, Leo, come here, because you can't get that name out. You know me, but you can't get the name out. That is embarrassing, you know? So that is what happens to me. Plus, the side effects of the medication are not always great either. So my coordination is off, slurred speech, etc. And I have good days and bad days. So people don't understand that seizures or epilepsy is not just seizures. It's memory loss. It's a bunch of things. I mean, I'll be here all night if I tell you everything.
And what about sleep? You know, what about sleep?
A lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep.
From the doctor's words, is your worst enemy. Is your enemy or something like that.
Yeah, it's your worst enemy.
So it sucks. It works against for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But a lot of times, you can't sleep.
Sometimes, yes. And then the medication causes insomnia.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trapped, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of screwed both ways, huh?
It's hard. You got to fight, you know? And for many years, people have just thought of me as, okay, Leo forgets everything. He's crazy. He's unorganized. Let me tell you, this sounds mean, but not really. I would, if I could, safely, you know, and everybody in the world, you know, like adult, not kid, adult. If I could give one person, say one good grand mal seizure, they would think totally different about epilepsy.
Yeah.
People you don't know what fatigue is till you get one of those son of a guns. There's no role, there's no opponent in jiu-jitsu that has smashed me and made me feel more tired than one good grand mal seizure. Okay. Sometimes I wake up and my teeth were on the floor or on my leg. You've seen the pictures. I just don't put them online because, you know, I don't want attention like that. But like, man, God, thank God there's dentists.
Yeah,
shout out to Benjamin Vela here in Corpus. And he's
fixed you up.
Ah, dude, yeah. It's terrible, man, to lose your teeth, you know?
You should just have like a monthly retainer with him. Just like, hey, man.
Yeah. Falling on your face on tile is not fun. But you don't feel nothing till you wake up, you know?
Yeah. But that's
you know, that's the battle I have. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking for sympathy at all. Yeah. Zero. If somebody even, you know, feels that, you know, just delete that from your mind. This is to help other people, really. I want to, in case they know somebody who has it at work or at school or a friend. So you could understand that person, you know, you don't get mad at, you know, he or she, they can't remember your name. Don't get mad because they're doing, you know, weird things, putting their wallet in the fridge, you know, or putting their wallet in the freezer. I mean,
these are all side effects, right?
Yes, side effects
and symptoms.
Symptoms, and boy, do I got many stories about that here that have happened to me, but strange ones, you know, like you could literally have a seizure and drive for 15 miles, you know, and people will ask me, well, how are you driving? Well, there's another type of seizure people get. You know, they're not all grand mals. You know, sometimes you just go into a daze.
Yeah.
There's even some where you laugh for like a whole week or two. Like that part of the brain that controls laughing just goes off. You're not happy. You're not laughing. You're just laughing because your brain is doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody really knows these things. There's like 40 different types. There's like 4 different category types, but there's really like 40 different ones. You know what I mean? Like individual types with I guess more.
Yeah, if you want to get really specific about certain things.
Yeah, if you get specific, yes.
And all that is just tied to your neurological wiring.
It's the brain.
It's just the brain, yeah.
The brain is weird. The brain is a strange, amazing though.
Yeah.
Thing. And I have a friend with a disorder, a neurological disorder that's not epilepsy, but a lot of the things he was saying in a talk, in TED Talks or TEDx, were the same ones. They're very similar to the ones I was, getting.
Yeah.
And of course, I researched it, and I did see that they both have those similarities of side effects. In that case. So I was like, that's why we see eye to eye. That's why I like to, it's good to have somebody that understands.
Yeah, somebody that's gone through similar experiences as you.
Yeah, because people won't believe you. They won't believe you if you don't, remember, hey, I can't remember this. They're like, oh, man, you're just, it happens to me too all the time. No, it doesn't. Not like the way it happens to me. Trust me,
If you hadn't experienced this, you don't know.
You don't know,
and you can't empathize, I guess is the word, because you don't know what it's like.
You don't, man.
And you won't know what it's like. You know?
Yeah, you don't. It's different for everybody too. So say 2 people could have the same kind of seizures, and they could both have totally different side effects from them afterwards. One could have, a bunch of memory problems, and the other one could have mood swings, for example. Yeah. It's everybody's different. So that's the other tricky part about it. Because remember, the brain is everything. Everything you do, see, smell, feel, it's from your brain.
Yeah.
It's from the brain. So that's my toughest opponent, and I think it's good for people to know this. So if you can't remember a move in jiu-jitsu, trust me, it's better to make it a muscle memory. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You could get it down. This is why I refrain, because I do occasionally, of course, because now we have all these platforms, we study jiu-jitsu, This is why I kind of refrain and limit myself on how much I watch, because then I'm just introducing myself to the move.
It's not ingrained. It's not ingrained. You haven't drilled it 100,000 times.
Yes, and plus I'm not a fraud. I teach what I have in my muscle memory. It has to become a muscle memory before I teach it. I'm not going to watch something, of course, and then go and teach it, something that I'd never even seen before. No.
But think about it, Leo. How many years you've been doing jiu-jitsu?
Many years.
Yeah, think about all the knowledge in the library of techniques you have in that brain of yours. Crazy. All the different guards, all the different, you name it, all the different submissions. And it's got to be just a library of shit that you have. And I bet sometimes you'll catch yourself going, oh, yeah.
Yes.
I remember this one here. Check this out.
Sometimes the books have dust on them. But the book's still there.
Yeah.
And then I never know when it's going to come back.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. This is why I wrote a lot of notes when I was in Brazil. I had these stacks of tablets, and I would just write notes. Because back in the day, of course, you had to go and train.
Yeah, there was no BJJ fanatics and all that shit.
That stuff. It was like, go get your ass beat and then learn and ask them what happened to you afterwards.
Ask them to show you how you got choked out.
The joints are falling. That's why my joints are all messed up right now. But it's kind of like that, man. It's kind of like but it's no it's no secret. Epilepsy has been around for a while, and this is. It comes with this. It's part of the package. Some people don't have a lot of side effects. Some don't. And I was one of the fortunate ones that didn't have too many. But now that I'm getting older, it's the memory part. Mm-hmm. And it gets frustrating, really frustrating. You do weird things, you put things in awkward places. And
it's going to be an ongoing fight. I think this is a lifelong fight. You deal with it every day, and you fight it every day, and you're winning.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm always going to win because, the biggest coward is my opponent.
That's right.
It's invisible. It doesn't You know, it attacks me when I'm not, when it's unexpected. It's a terrorist. It attacks me, unexpectedly, and boom. But I'm winning, man. So what's up?
That's right. Well, on to the new year, 2022. What do you want to tell everybody, man? I mean, as we kick off another year, it's business as usual, huh?
Take a deep breath. Don't get too political,
man,
especially in jiu-jitsu,
bro.
Yeah. Don't lie. Be honest. Being an honest person is very important. I don't think the problem on earth is politics. I think it's people and dishonesty. And as we grow, have the courage. Everybody thinks only of courage about fighting and this and that. But you know what? That has a shelf life. One day you can have courage to be, other things. You're going to have to. So, I think being an honest person and, coming face to face with your flaws and mistakes you made in the past is the way to go. And that's the advice that I give everybody. Don't just try to change the tension there's going on out there. And this is part of the reason why I named my podcast Man on the Planet. I saw these, all the people that bully each other online about politics. I have friends who just were scared to death to make an opinion because their family members that were left or blue, or what do you call it? Left or right?
Yeah.
Would get offended. But I mean, that's terrible. That's I was like, you know what? Screw these people. It got me mad. I'm not going to lie. Like pressuring people to believe what they believe. You could go to hell.
Yeah.
You don't pressure people. You don't.
No.
You could have your opinion, but don't be disrespectful. Don't wish people, bad things to happen to them.
No. It's crazy, and it's all about mutual respect. I think you can disagree.
Yeah, learn to disagree. Exactly.
It's okay.
You got it. You're right there. Learn to disagree.
We can still be friends at the end, right?
Exactly.
Just because you feel one way and I feel a different way, why do we have to hate each other?
Exactly. Why don't we do that, Gino? How come people don't do that?
I don't understand. I say the same thing because I'm like, I have so many friends who disagree with me politically and stuff like that, social issues, stuff. It's okay. I don't hate you. Why do you hate me? Because I don't feel the same way. I still like you. You're still my friend. But we just feel different. Hey, you like the Texans. I like the Cowboys.
Exactly.
Hey, right? It's just, that's how you feel. That's how I feel. Okay.
And I don't even think people are, when they fight about this stuff, I don't even think that they are even like honest in their words when they say that they really think this or they want this and this is right or wrong. Because believe me, it's proven to me. I've had friends of mine say this to me in person, and then I see them in Facebook saying the opposite. People pretend to care a lot. I will never stop saying that. People pretend to care.
Yeah.
On any side, just in general. Generally speaking, people pretend to care.
No, I get it. Yeah. And it's all for attention.
It's all for attention. It's for nothing. I think that's what people need to do. Just stop it with that.
Yeah.
It's taking us to a really bad place,
And that's why training jiu-jitsu is a beautiful thing, because left, right, red, blue,
it doesn't matter.
Make a shit what your beliefs are, what color you are, how much money you make. None of that matters when you step on the mats.
We're all the same.
That's
There's
right.
no religion. There's no political side.
No.
It's just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
When you walk out the door, then that's your other
life starts again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. You're right. That's what I like about that. But you're definitely correct about disagreeing. People need to just learn to disagree. It's like me, like I do not agree with certain types of people competing in female sports, but it doesn't mean I dislike them at all. It doesn't mean that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just there
Same
for the fairness. What I'm saying is I want it to be more fair for the females.
Oh, I agree.
So
I disagree with that too, with them competing, you know.
So, but the thing is, there's always like false accusations now. I mean, we already had those.
Or they're quick to label you.
Yeah, to label you.
Quick to label you. Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant, I guess. Yeah.
Whether you're racist or you're homophobic or no, man. Yeah. Why you have to throw labels out?
Yeah.
And what I find is the people that are against labels use labels. They're against, dividing people, but yet they're dividing by using names, throwing names out there.
Now, I am going to say this too. Sometimes those labels do exist.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure you don't overreact and label somebody right away.
That's right.
Sometimes that is not the case, So in people who have been accused of being racist that are not, in their defense, I stand by you too there, because you could be accused of being one too as well.
Oh, easily.
But nowadays, this is not the 1950s and 60s anymore. You cannot. Racism is a lot less, at least up front. In the face, it's a lot less because now people punch you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
It's different now. This is not the 1950s or 60s. You know what I mean? So, there's still
a lot of closed door racism.
Yes.
Behind closed doors.
Secret. Yeah. I can say that. Of course there is. I mean, I'm not. And some people are scared to say that. No, of course there is. And of course there's not too as well. There's both. People don't say both. They want to say just one. There's this and there's not. I'll tell you right now because I'm not a bullshitter. People are bullshitters. I don't lean to one side. I don't vote. I don't vote. And I know people will criticize me for that. But why am I going to vote when you see a whole bunch of people there crying on social media, fighting with each other online? It was just so sad to me to see that. It was sad. And you know what? I'm always going to say what I think I should say. And if you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry, but I'm an honest person as a martial artist. I need to be honest. Do you want a martial artist who's a liar?
Nope.
Leading your team? No. So I'm a more honest person, as I age, and jiu-jitsu helps me be an honest person and maintain it.
Well, we look forward to another year and more episodes of Man on a Planet. And of course. I kind of like this. I kind of like this setup here, man.
You like it?
Yeah, it's more laid back.
Well, you know what? You just motivated me to upgrade everything now.
No, we're just laid back. It's laid back here recording this. So we're glad that people have jumped on and followed the podcast and more to come, right?
Exactly. And way more to come, and I'll be talking about martial arts a little bit more too as well. What I think, this is kind of like saddening too, but there's a lot of drama in jiu-jitsu now. And there's, if anybody has a question on an opinion on certain things going out there, I'll let you know. And remember, I don't agree with people just because they have a name. I don't agree with people just because they're, successful in anything. When I meet people, I meet people. I don't meet your profession. That's the kind of guy I am. Mm-hmm. And those are the types of people that should be working on Fox and CNN. You know what I mean? You can't be one-sided, man.
That's right.
I'm straight up the middle.
Right in the middle.
I'm straight up the middle, and I have to walk with the courage because that's the only way to be.
Understood.
Yes,
Understood.
Sir. Yes, sir. And for all the people out there, if you disagree with something on anything I say here, don't let it bother you too much. And yes, I will sit down with anybody and talk to your face and ask you. I'm a very confrontational person, but it doesn't mean that I want to fight with you or tell you off. Yeah. That's gonna determine that will be decided on how your attitude and how the respect is given to you. I respect everybody who respects me. It's very simple, but I'm not gonna hold my tongue. It's that simple. Okay. God bless everyone. Have a good 2022.